Hello and welcome to a new project series about Nigel, the campervan. So during our last trip to Spain and Portugal, I kind of start noticing a clicking sound and like a feel under my left foot while driving in the mountains, and it gradually became worse to the point that I can feel this click whenever I take a turn to the right, and also when driving through potholes or bumps. So because it became worse, I think it's time to address the issue. I took it to Alexander. If you know the channel, you know Alexander from previous episodes, and he kind of listened to it while I was driving through a gutter, and then producing the clicky sound every time, and he thinks it's coming from the top of the strut mount, which is about here, which is like around my left foot, basically, when you are going into the cabin. So I went ahead, ordered a new strut mount, and well, I'm gonna take the van to Alexander's workplace, and then we can take out the strut mount and see what's going on there.
So first we're gonna remove the brake pads over here. This is quite easy. Then we're gonna take off the entire brake caliper, and then we're gonna take off this brake disc, and then we can maybe see a bit more. Needs a bit of persuasion. Uh-oh. Nope. There goes my tool. While I'm waiting on professional backup, I am removing this bolt from that's holding the strut to the wheel hub. I'm also loosening these bolts from the anti-roll bar linkage because I was about to change them anyway. The rubber is completely gone, and it's quite a cheap repair. I think it's about 11 to 15 euros each. So these have to come off when I'm removing the strut. So 90mm bolt, and I think the same here. This is a bit harder to reach, but with the breaker bar they will crack loose fairly easily. While I'm a bit stuck with the lack of an Allen key, I'm going to continue with removing the dashboard, so we can take the body control module out of the way, so we can get to the top of the strut mount. I'm actually not sure if the wheel hub, there might be a little bit of play in it, but I think the main issue must be the strut mount. I mean, that huge clicking, I don't think that would be the wheel hub. I think we would notice other things. By the way, I don't have my very big, I think it's a 40mm socket here, so I'm kind of stuck over here. I did loosen the bolt for the strut mount, and I did loosen the bolt for the stabilizers, or the stabilizer linkage, by the way. These are the new ones, and this is the old rubber. It doesn't look too bad to me. I'm not sure if we need to replace these, because I always have the feeling that original rubber lasts way longer. Even this is SKF, I think this is a good brand, but it did look worse than it is. So removing this dash, it seems there is a bolt over here. Let's put some light on there. And there is a bolt here. Sorry, just a normal screw, just a Phillips screw. And then it seems there is one hidden over here as well. Okay, seems that I forgot to press a record, but plastic comes off very easily, just 3 screws. And then of course, before messing with the body control module, you should disconnect the battery just in case. This is an expensive thing to replace. And then behind this little friend, we should be able to reach the bolts of the strut mount. So battery disconnect here below the driver's seat feet. And this is just this little clamp. And there we go, disconnected. Always put a little paper in between so it doesn't slide back into place. It's quite hard to film here with the lift between me. But these connectors, they are quite easy. You just have to lift their levers like this and they come out easily. I took a picture to know which go where, but I don't think it's possible to mix it up. This big one, there we go, everything is disconnected. So in order to take this out, one nut, one little bolt, and this looks like just a Phillips, and can't really see anything else. So let's undo these 3 and let's see what's behind. Bolt and nut removed, both are 10mm. This one you need a piece of 3. And okay, there's still stuff attached to behind, it seems. Now, do we get this out? There we go. It's out of the way. I think I'm gonna leave those connected. Okay, and now we might be able to see. What can we see? Damper material. And finally, here we are, the top of the strut. Everything looks fine there. I think it's not that hard to reach. Reinforcements have arrived. Nope. The breaker bar hits it again. Yeah, tough one this. Yeah, the WD-40 overnight did its job. Next, the brake disc. Yeah, it's dropped the car.
No, yeah.
Yeah. This is why you use Le Gris, or I don't know. Remember the first time?
Yeah.
Percussion. Go. So the e-learn says undo the bolt fixing the shock absorber to the wheel hub. Sounds easy enough? Now we're fighting this one, won't come out for some reason. E16 socket. This guy is still super stuck. I have no idea why they pick such a small, what is this, head of a bolt? I mean, if you look at the size of the bolt, it is quite a big one. So we're a bit scared about snapping it. And maybe the WD-40 will do its job. Yeah, annoying. So we're still fighting these bolts, so it became easy. It started easy, but then this is the one we got out. It's very dirty below, so that restricts the bolts seriously. We removed, with some effort, the 3 bolts on top of the shock, and now we're going to plan B. We're going to try to take out the whole thing with the wheel hub, take out the axle, disconnect the wishbone, and take this whole thing off, hopefully. Next we're gonna take out the axle and then see what happens. A little bit lower. Yep. Hoopla. I want to note that I once took out the axle before, so it's not super tight.
Oef.
Laat maar zakken.
Ja, van die compressie, die VTM poetsen en dan hier van boven losmaken dat die eraf is. Hè. Potential energy. Allee. Glas. Ja, dat is los. Oké. En nu?
Ja. Ziet er goed uit eigenlijk, niet?
Dus de frictiekant zit daar tegen.
Die lager doe ik.
Ja.
Er is niks mis mee. All this for nothing. Well, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with this part. Everything is intact. We compared it to a new part, and we decided to reuse the old part since it already proved itself for 180,000 kilometers. So this, everything still aligns. No sign of any wear. So yeah. Torque spec 19 Newton meter.
Eerst die bakje misschien.
Ja.
Amai, motherfucker. Ja, maar een eentje. Wacht, hè. Deze zit verkeerd om.
Leuk hè, zo'n rangefest.
Super.
Zo draaien zeker?
Ja.
Ja, nu kunnen we hem gewoon.
Hoppa. Nog een beetje. Stop. Wacht, dat is een mooie. Nee, richten nu.
Ja.
Dan moet nog naar boven natuurlijk. Zo een beetje omhoog. Ik heb hem vast. Stop. Fuck, beetje zakken. Stop. Oké, wacht hè. Heel voorzichtig draag je ook naar omhoog. Ik zit er zo mijn vingers tussen. Nee, ik krijg hem niet. Nee, ik heb hem niet. Allee, kom on. Zakje. Omhoog. Stop. Nog een klein beetje. Nog een beetje. Nog een beetje. Die ene zit in zijn gat. Ik wil de andere moet ook wel niet, want die gaat er eerder in gaan.
Dat moet eens voelen. Hoe in het gaan.
Ik ga niet zeggen. Die zit goed. Die ene zit goed. Lichtje.
Lichtje?
Komt er eens voorzichtig naar boven.
Dat brengt toch wat tegen.
Ja, nee, stop dan maar. Dan moeten we... Zak dan nog een beetje. Stop. Dan moeten we hem wat draaien, maar ik weet niet. Ik zie dat hem links of naar rechts gaat. Ik zou zeggen zo. Oh nee, wacht maar. Zak me gewoon terug.
No bueno.
Ja, bueno. Ja, zo snijden.
Oh?
Een beetje, ja. Zo ja, een beetje omhoog. Een beetje zakken. Een beetje omhoog. Zo. Ik ga hier vormen met mijn arm niet tussen.
Hè?
Ik ga hier vormen met mijn arm niet tussen. Oké, nog een beetje omhoog. Oké, nog een beetje. Stop. En dan stop je met spelen. Nee. Dat gaan we niet hier. Dat achterste van die pinnetjes zit erin, maar dat voorste pinnetje zit er niet in. Op de grond, in de telefoon. Ik ga een beetje verder indraaien, die.
Ah, maar ik kan ook. Ik wil zeggen, ik draai mijn stuur, maar dat nog weinig doen. Veel.
Nog een paar slagen geven. Oké, dat is nog niet vast, hè. Is toch goed? Beetje. Oké.
Die gatjes zitten nog niet geanimeerd, hè. We moeten de delen, maar dat gat zit nog niet goed. Ah, wacht even.
Het gat.
Ja, nu wel. Denk ik. Doet hij eerst met de hand? Op het gat, hè, jongen.
Blindelingen is. Oké, die derde er al in.
Dat gaat niet. Een stuur kunnen draaien.
En dan is er
Ja,
deze
juist.
erin.
Je kunt dat gewoon zo draaien. Daarvoor was het inderdaad. The torque for these bolts is 60 Newton meters. Let's place back the computer. So you also notice that I'm alone again. That's because we ran out of time 2 days ago. So I'm now finishing the job. And also it's not hard to finish this on my own now. The hard part is over. So for removing the dampers, I really recommend
to do the job with 2 people and use a decent jack. Over here, I think it looks. There we go. I have to lower the car so I can put it in gear. Okay. There we go. 80. So this axle nut is 150 Newton meters plus 35 degrees. But as I said before, I'm gonna do that when I'm back home, since I don't have the right tools here to do that. I think if we align this with this, we should be golden. Now before, I already took out the axle 2 years ago, and I only managed to tighten it to here, so this might also be a problem. So I'm just gonna try to get it over here, like originally. So, I think I'm gonna use the jack. Almost. So I think this is a lot more than 150 Newton meters, so I think we'll keep it at this. I'm not sure if it actually moved. I think so. You can see they're a bit skinnier than the new ones, so Alexander tells me I am going to feel a difference. So let's just go for it and we'll see. By the way, torque spec, I think on the big one 150, yeah, and this one about 56. You see there is like a locking nut here. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cancel this plan as well, because I can get no movement in this bolt. So I'm just gonna let it soak in WD-40 for a while, and then reattempt to get this off. I'm actually absolutely knackered. It's also very, very hot outside. It's about 30 degrees. And the next day is going to be worse. This is the 3rd day I've been working on this project with actually no success up until now, which is quite sad. So I'm going to put the brakes back on, and then yeah, do a little test drive, see if anything changed. It's only 56, so that's more than I thought. There we go. The brake disc. Strange size, but I think not too tight.
see. At this point we don't have any play like we had before, so maybe we did do something right somewhere. There was a little bit of play before. Anyway, I think now it's time to get the caliper bracket back on, which will be something like this. Still need to find the torque spec for these. I'm guessing about 150. So the bolts, the 40mm Allen key bolts that tighten the brake caliper bracket to the wheel hub is a whopping 210 Newton meters, which is right at the max of my torque wrench. And also the max of my power, it seems. Damn. Okay, 210. At least weighing about 95 kilos has its perks. Okay, 210 it is. See, like this, and now we have to clean up the cables here. Put this back where it belongs. I think there was a little metal clip here. Yeah. I'll check in a minute. Always put a little bit of copper grease on these, so it's always easy to replace the brake pads. The torque for the little bolts that keep the brake caliper on, the brake pads on, is only 12 Newton meters, so normally I just do them good and tight. But just for the fun of it, let's get my tiny torque wrench. Tiny torque wrench set to 12. I think they make these for bikes. Even those have torque specs. La la la. Shoot. It's not a good thing to torque with the torque wrench. Well, I mean, it's not a good idea to tighten with the torque wrench. Just keep that for torquing, so I'm just gonna do it like this. I think that's already 12. We'll see. Okay, that's like nothing. Huh. That's very light, you know. So I think I already over tightened them a little bit, but I don't really trust 12, I think. Almost back. Yeah, this is like the little wire you can connect to the brake pads, but it always breaks. I don't even know if it works, so it's supposed to like put a light on the dash when the brake pads are at their end. I think this goes in like this, yep. So I also need to check these. These are the same as the anti-roll bar torque, so 150 on the big one, and the small ones, they are a 56, so I almost forgot about them, but yeah, still need to torque these. Torqued to spec, I think now it's time to put the wheel back on, go for a little test drive. Look, I'm using the right socket for an impact now. The batteries of the impact were almost gone, so it doesn't have a lot of torque left in it. There we go. The last one was a bit rash, but I have to say, the play seems gone. So that seems like a good sign. So was it worth it? First test drive was promising. I didn't hear the clicky sound again. So yeah, could be that we fixed it by accident. There was also no play in the wheel anymore when we put the tire back on. So I am praying that we actually fixed it, even if it was just the stupid axle that wasn't screwed down completely like it should. 150 Newton meters plus 35 degrees.
Hello, this is GP from the future, and I'm just gonna interrupt my wishful thinking because, of course, we didn't fix the issue. I can confirm the issue that we did fix, it wasn't really an issue, was the play in the wheel. There was a comment on the technical inspection last year, and that was fixed probably because the wheel axle nut wasn't tight enough. So the clicky thing is still there, and dismounting the whole strut was kind of for nothing. At least we had fun most of the time. If you want to find out what the real issue is, just keep watching and check out the next episode, because eventually I will fix it the proper way. So if you don't want to know what it actually was, then I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you find this helpful or entertaining, feel free to subscribe or leave a comment, and catch you in the next one.